We have to release our addiction to the proverbial European breasts.
Can you explain what that means?
That means that colonialism and enslavement taught African people to depend on Europeans for everything that they need. And we still look to Europeans for everything that they need. Take blacks in America, for example. If you look at brothers and sisters in America, we gross the largest amount of money of all Africans in the world. The largest amount of money of all Africans in the world, but we own almost nothing. Black people, when we came out of slavery in America in December of 1865 with the passage of the 13th Amendment, we owned 0.5% of all the wealth in America. That's 144 years ago. Today, now, we gross over $1 trillion. By far, we're the richest group of Africans on the face of the earth. Those of us in American Africans. With Oprah, Bill Cosby, LeBron James, all these black PhDs and JDs and PsyDs and MDs, we still only own 0.5% of all the wealth in America. 143 years later, we are at the same place we were 143 years ago. Which is why when people say that African people are making progress, globally, they say we're doing better than we've ever been. I disagree, because I disagree with the definition of progress. For most of us, our definition of progress is to what extent we've gotten white people to be comfortable with us. To what extent we've gotten white people to be able to accept us. That's not my definition of progress, because you're putting your destiny in the hands of your oppressor. My definition of progress is to what extent have you been able to create and protect the future of your children. To the extent that you are independent and self-reliant, to me, that's progress. So where are our airplanes? Where are our ships? Where are our supermarkets? Where are our distribution networks? Where are our colleges and universities? If you look at the institutions and industries that people need in order to be successful in this world, we own almost none of them. If you look at black music, most black music is distributed by Europeans. Most black merchandise is distributed by Europeans because we don't have a distribution network. We do not own the means of distribution. We don't have planes, ships, trains, or trucks to take product. You have music that you sell. I have information that I sell. Someone else makes clothing. Someone else makes furniture. But if you want to send that furniture around the world so all Africans who want it can buy it, you need distribution. But you ain't got none. So you have to go to the European or the Asian or the Arab and pay them to distribute your product. And as a result of them packaging, advertising, shipping, and insuring your product, they take 85% of the profit. And you're left with almost pennies of it. You see? So we are not making progress. In fact, we're going back. If you look at the incarceration rate of black males anywhere, Europe, South Africa, America, Canada, there's more black men in prison or have been through the prison system in the past 30 years than you've had black people in slavery. So if you say that we've made progress when as many has been in jail after slavery than have been under the chains, what exactly are you talking about? See, the definition of power is the ability to define someone's reality and make them agree with it. When they say that black people are free, well, what is the definition of freedom? Because for me, the definition of freedom isn't F-R-E-E-D-O-M, it's F-R-E-E-D-U-M-B, freedom, mentally dumb. What are we free to do? We're not free to build. We're not free to be independent. We're free to take the money that we earn from white people and give it right back to them in their own businesses. Which is why when people ask me about the reparations argument, we're entitled to reparations, but it's no need to go fighting for reparations right now because you have no internal infrastructure. If the white man gave you a check for $1 trillion for slavery or colonialism, he would have all that money back in 30 days because you have no economic infrastructure. So once they get the money, they want to buy a house, they want to buy a car, they want to buy clothes. Who they buying a house from? Who they buying a car from? Who they buying the clothes from?
Where they putting their money?
Exactly. Yeah. So before you can receive external reparations, you have to first enact internal reparations for yourself. In other words, we got some home fixing to do. Yes, we have to deal with white supremacy, but we also have to deal with black negligence. We got to deal with black laziness. We got to deal with black apathy. We got to deal with black self-hatred. We have as much work to do amongst ourselves as we have to do confronting the enemy. And any good student of military science will tell you what? You never go to the enemy until you have fixed your own situation, because your enemy will exploit it and use it against you. And a house divided against itself cannot stand.
Wow, man. From there, let's go to a topic we deal with here in the Netherlands. I'm sure you know about the Blackface character.
Yes.
They call Zwarte Piet.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
If you go back to colonialism, slavery, that period right after that in America, which we call Reconstruction or the Civil Rights era, you will see that white men and women made a living by projecting very satirical, sarcastic, insulting, and derogatory images of black people as a way of conditioning white people into how they wanted them to view and react to us. We have to be clear. When white people paint their faces black, they're doing that to insult African people, and they're suggesting that we are less than human beings by virtue of the fact of disguising themselves as us and then clowning us in satirical prose as they do this. So this is a very racist thing. It cannot be defended or justified as a custom, because if you're telling me that you have a custom that is based on racism, and then at the same time you tell me that you are a post-racial people, then you are a hypocrite. It is no way that here in the Netherlands the white people can claim to be progressive and post-racial if they have a holiday where they dress up in blackface. And mind you, they dress up in the blackest face of all. And they do that to draw a distinction between us and them. And the underlying message is that we as white folk are the most humane people here in the Netherlands, and black folk are the most beastly, because we do not all come in black skin. Yes, that's the original melanated complexion of our ancestors, but now in modern times we come in all colors, light brown, dark brown, so forth. So why don't you dress up in the various variations of brown? You only use the pitches of blackness, because in white cultural reference, black is the color of evil. It is the color of negativity. It is the color of oppression. Now for us, it is a color of divinity and power, but for them, it is a color of negativity. So the reason they intentionally make themselves super blackface to celebrate this ridiculous holiday is to try to increase the power of the insult that they're making about black people and our lack of humanity. It is something that the government here needs to outlaw. It is not acceptable and it is not excusable, and no civilized people would condone a custom or a holiday that allows any race to dress up as another race and then poke fun against the race that they're trying to imitate. It is totally disrespectful. If black folks dressed up and put on white faces, there would be outcry. If we put on Jewish faces, there would be outcry. If we put on Anglo-Saxon faces, it would be outcry. If we dressed up and made ourselves look phenotypically like the Asian, there would be an outcry. But it's okay for white people to dress up in the blackest of black skin with big red lips, poking fun at the phenotype of Africans, showing how different it is from Europeans, so as to say we are abnormal and defective. It is okay to do that. That's not acceptable. And if the government of this country claims to be a civilized government and a respecting government, they should do something about that.